welcome to Cox Local Edition on CNN Headline News. I'm Catherine Falk with Cox Communications. Thank you so much for joining us today. As part of our Policymaker series, we are so grateful to welcome Delegate Vivian Watts. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You have been in the legislature for 17 years. It's a long time with lots of great experience to bring to the job. Tell us about your district that you serve, the 39th district?
39th district is Annandale Springfield. It's about 1/3 inside the Beltway, encompassing the bulk of Annandale, but it also carries over into Crestwood, Lynbrook, part of Springfield, down including the Engineering Proving Grounds, all the way down almost to Lorton.
That's great. And your background is really in community leadership, and in between the legislature, you were the Secretary of Transportation and Public Safety, which I'm sure is great training for what you're doing now.
That's right. After 4 years in the legislature, I was persuaded to go into the cabinet. It was the last time that we really did something about transportation, and so it was a very good experience to have that breadth of awareness of the Commonwealth as a whole, as well as all of the serious issues that governance demands.
So tell us about the committees that you serve on, some very important ones.
I serve on Courts of Justice Committee, Science and Tech, and Finance Committee.
Great. And finance must have come in handy this session because it was a really tough economic time, and that really clouded everything the General Assembly did.
In the House, we have a separate function. Finance is separate from the budget. So actually this year, as far as finance was concerned, in this economic times, there was just no willingness, no desire at all to increase taxes, revenue. So much of what we did was much more of what I would call housekeeping. So bills that might have had to do with energy conservation, credits, and so on were put on the table.
Great. Tell us what the General Assembly is doing on transportation, and maybe you can talk to some of the big issues around here, like hot lanes and some of the other things we're seeing happening.
Unfortunately, Catherine, my district is heavily impacted by major projects. I have 30% of the hot lane right-of-way, also the Fairfax County Parkway going across to the Engineering Proving Grounds, and much of my district endured the mixing bowl reconstruction. So while it looks like we're doing a lot, most of this is driven either by federal money or by private money, and there's very little public money for what should be a partnership. So many of my constituents are heavily impacted because there are no state funds to deal with very important issues that have to do with safety, sound walls, cut-through traffic, landscaping, reforestation. So I have been extremely busy with citizen groups trying to push these issues into the public policy arena in every way that we can. We've had some success, but it has been frustrating not to have the resources for the kind of public accountability, true partnerships that ought to be out there.
And when will the hot lanes be done?
The hot lanes essentially have a 3, even to a 4. It's obviously going extremely quickly. This has been a project that's been under study for 15 years as a public project, just expanding the Beltway. But the private partnership has meant that as soon as they were given the get-go, everything to the right-of-way lines has virtually been cleared.
Great. Can you tell us how your constituents can get in touch with you and share more of their opinions on this?
Please email me at vwatts@arrows.com. So vwatts@arrows.com.
Great. Delegate Watts, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for joining us on Cox Local Edition on CNN.